SpaceX is not winning just because it has better rockets. It is winning because it has a better operating system. And when you understand that system, you start to see something important. SpaceX and Tesla are built on the same philosophy: control the key technologies, move fast, learn from real world data, and keep improving the system. That is the real story today. Hi, everyone. This is Ken. Today, we are going to talk about why SpaceX can launch rockets so cheaply and so quickly. But this is not just a space story. For Tesla investors, this is a very important case study because the way SpaceX changed the economics of space is very similar to the way Tesla challenged the auto industry. The key is not only technology, it is reusability, vertical integration, fast iteration, and first principles thinking. And by the end of this video, you will understand why this matters for Starlink, Starship, and Tesla's long-term future. For decades, going to space was extremely expensive. One of the biggest reasons was simple. Most rockets were disposable. Imagine if an airline had to throw away the airplane after every flight. That sounds crazy, but for a long time, that was basically how rockets work. You build a rocket, launch it, deliver the payload, and lose most of the vehicle. That means every launch requires massive new manufacturing, high cost, slow launch schedules, and fewer chances to learn from real-world flight data. SpaceX looked at this old model and said, "This does not make sense." The biggest visible change was reusable rockets. With Falcon 9, SpaceX recovers and reuses the first stage booster. After launch, the booster separates, re-enters the atmosphere, controls itself with grid fins, restarts its engines, slows down, and lands vertically. But the real innovation is not just the landing. The deeper innovation is turning a rocket from a disposable product into a reusable asset. If the same booster can fly again and again, the original manufacturing cost can be spread across many missions. That changes the cost structure of space launch. And this is where Tesla investors should pay attention. Tesla also does not treat a car as just a one-time hardware product. A Tesla vehicle keeps improving through software updates, data, and real-world usage. In both cases, the product becomes part of a learning system. Now, let's talk about cost. The current price of a Falcon 9 launch is roughly around $74 million. But the more important point is the cost of getting payload into low Earth orbit. Thanks to reusability, SpaceX has pushed launch costs far below many traditional systems. And when launch costs fall, space stops being a rare event. It starts becoming infrastructure. That is why Starlink becomes possible. Thousands of satellites can be launched, replaced, and upgraded at a speed that traditional competitors struggle to match. So SpaceX is not just building rockets, it is building the logistics layer for space. But cost is only half the story. The other half is speed. Reusable rockets allow more frequent launches. More launches create more real-world data. More data creates faster improvement. Faster improvement increases reliability, and higher reliability brings more customers and more launches. This is the SpaceX flywheel. Reuse leads to launch frequency. Launch frequency leads to data. Data leads to faster improvement, and faster improvement strengthens SpaceX's market position. This is very similar to Tesla. Tesla learns from vehicles on the road. SpaceX learns from rockets in flight. Both companies use real-world data to improve faster than traditional competitors. Another major advantage is vertical integration. SpaceX designs and manufactures many critical systems in-house: engines, structures, avionics, software, and parts of launch infrastructure. This matters because traditional aerospace companies often depend on large supplier networks, and when you depend on many outside suppliers, every change becomes slower. You need coordination, approvals, contracts, and supplier timelines. SpaceX avoids much of that friction by controlling key technologies internally. If something needs to change, they can modify it, test it, and fly again much faster. This is also very similar to Tesla. Tesla controls many important parts of its system: batteries, motors, software, vehicle architecture, AI chips, charging infrastructure, and energy products. The point is not to do everything in-house. The point is to control the parts that define speed, cost, and long-term differentiation. This connects to first principles thinking. SpaceX did not simply ask, how much does a rocket normally cost? It asked, what is a rocket actually made of? Then the question becomes, why should the final product cost so much more? Tesla did the same thing with EVs. Instead of accepting the old auto industry structure, Tesla asked deeper questions. Can software become part of the vehicle? Can manufacturing be redesigned? Can the car improve after delivery? Can the company build its own charging network? This is why SpaceX and Tesla often look strange from the outside. They are not just improving the old system, they are rebuilding the system from the base layer. Of course, this approach can look messy. They test aggressively, they miss timelines, they take risks, and sometimes it looks chaotic. But behind that chaos, there is a clear operating logic. Move fast, test in the real world, learn from failure, improve the system, repeat. This is uncomfortable for traditional industries, but in technology-driven markets, speed can become a major competitive moat. So, what should Tesla investors learn from SpaceX? The biggest lesson is this: do not look only at the product. Look at the system that produces improvement. For SpaceX, the product is the rocket, but the real advantage is reusability, vertical integration, data, iteration, and engineering culture. For Tesla, the product may look like a car, but the real question is whether Tesla is building systems that improve over time. Manufacturing systems, battery systems, AI systems, Robotaxi systems, energy systems, robotic systems. Short-term markets focus on deliveries, margins, and quarterly numbers. Those are important. But long-term value often comes from whether the company is building a machine that gets better every cycle. SpaceX shows us that very clearly. SpaceX became faster and cheaper not because it had one magic technology. It became stronger because it built a repeatable learning system, reused the hardware, launched more often, collect more data, improve faster, control the key technologies, reduce friction, and repeat the cycle again and again. That is the flywheel. And this is why SpaceX is so difficult to catch. Competitors are not just trying to copy a rocket. They are trying to copy an entire operating system. That is much harder. So, as long-term investors, the question is not only what did Tesla or SpaceX do this quarter? The deeper question is the company building a system that can learn faster than competitors? Because in fast-changing industries, the company that learns faster often becomes the company that leads. That is true in space. That is true in electric vehicles. And it may also become true in autonomy, AI, robotics, and energy. SpaceX gives us a powerful clue for understanding Tesla's long-term future, not just through one product, but through systems that compound over time. That is all for today. In the next video, I want to take a deeper look at Starship, where it stands today, and whether SpaceX's Mars plan is becoming more realistic. If you found today's video useful, please hit the like button. I share Tesla, SpaceX, AI, and future technology updates every day, with analysis for long-term investors and fans. So if you have not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, and let me know in the comments, do you think SpaceX's reusable rocket model is one of the strongest business advantages in the world today. Thank you so much for watching. Let's keep enjoying life in the future. Before we wrap up, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I drive a Tesla Model Y, and at home, I've installed a Tesla Powerwall, so I actually charge my car with solar energy. I truly believe Tesla is shaping the future, and that's why I share the latest news and insights here on this channel. I'm from Japan, but I want to connect with Tesla fans all around the world. That's why I also create an English version of my videos. YouTube now lets you switch the audio into your own language, so you can enjoy it in whatever language you prefer. Most of all, I'd love to connect with Tesla fans everywhere so we can support Tesla together. I also share updates on X, so feel free to follow me there and let's connect. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.